Can I evict a tenant if the rental agreement is verbal, but I have proof of payments? Generally, yes. So a rental relationship does not necessarily have to be in writing to exist. While formally a registered ijari is obviously the strongest and clearest proof of tenancy, creating kind of a default evidence of a rental relationship, it is not the only way to establish one. And those long-term residents or residents of the UAE or Dubai in particular would know that ijari basically means an agreement, a rental agreement that's registered with the government vis-a-vis the RIR or Dubai Land Department. And so that's, it's registered on ijari, so that's an official document. So that document itself serves as sort of prima facie or default evidence or proof that a rental agreement exists. Now, without that, it's not to say that there isn't an agreement or there's not a relationship. It's just the burden of proof is going to be a little tougher. You can, the tenancy agreement can be, in that case, without the ijari agreement, will be construed in the context of the full universe of all the documents, correspondences, and communications that exist between the parties. So, for example, a proof of payment, through, especially if it's through bank transfer, or copies of checks, or even handwritten undertakings or confirmations that certain payments change hands, and that those payments represented rental payments. And or as well communications, be through WhatsApp, emails, SMS, or even Telegram, any other kind of social media that ultimately shows there's a relationship between the landlord and a tenant, will also be deemed confirmation and evidence of a tenancy relationship. Is just that the two nuances that differentiate that scenario are the fact that you don't have that official document, which in some cases may lead to a few procedural delays and extra steps in order to file a case with RDC or the Rent Dispute Center. That's one. And two, ultimately proving the terms and conditions of the tenancy agreement. Because if you don't have it all documented in the ijari and it's all sort of verbal, then it's on you to then prove what the terms and conditions of the overall agreement were. Because obviously the relationship, the tenancy relationship, the relationship between the tenant and landlord is easy to establish. So if I'm a landlord and you're a person living in my apartment, unless we're related, then there is presumption that this is a sort of a tenancy agreement, and so we have a relationship. But what are the terms of our relationship? That is what can be proven and further supported by just the entire universe of communications between us, including payments.